Hello, I'm Grayson Ottaway. Welcome back to another video from your favorite YouTube channel, Marvelous Videos. We have spent months and months discussing different character origins. If you've been following us, you would know that all the characters are equally important in the Marvelous family. So today we'll be talking about one of the most underrated superheroes we have ever come across, and that is none other than the wind controller, Cyclone. Cyclone's appearances have been minimal in both comics and movies, but even then her character has surprisingly attracted a lot of attention, so much so that she is even shown in a live-action movie. Today we'll be discussing everything there is to know about this character and a bit more. So grab onto your seats because this ride is going to blow your hair away. But before we do, a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to this channel. Really easy, small click for you, but for us means a great deal. Thank you so much. Let's go. Exploring the early life and the origins of Cyclone, aka Maxine Hunkel. Maxine Hunkel, New Earth. Maxine Hunkel was first created by Jeff Johns and Dale Eaglesham and made her comic debut in Kingdom Come #2 back in 1996, but she was totally unnamed and not even treated as a character properly until her full debut in Justice Society of America Volume 3 #1 in 2006. In the Kingdom Come volume, she had kept her alias Red Tornado as a tribute to her grandmother and had decided to fight against Superman's Justice League until her ideologies were questioned, which soon made her team up with Superman himself. According to her history, Abigail Ma Hunkel, the first Red Tornado, was the grandmother of Maxine Hunkel. Ma Hunkel served as the Justice Society's honorary member and then as the organization's administrative assistant. Ma Hunkel had influenced and inspired her granddaughter so much that Maxine had considered Ma Hunkel as her role model and would always look up to her whenever she faced any difficulties. Along with her grandmother, all of the other heroes in the Justice Society of America were the reason she wanted to grow up to be just like them. Maxine was once abducted as a young child by T.O. Morrow, the crazy scientist who built the second Red Tornado, a potent android. He had wanted to make her one of the strongest beings there was so that he could use her powers at his command. Even though he injected her with the Red Tornado technology nanobites, they did not seem to affect her immediately. In fact, these nanobites took years to take effect, and by that time, Maxine was already in her college days. Ever since Maxine was a kid, she had been really intelligent and smart, and this continued on until her college years when she got a 4-point GPA and a score of 1300 on her SAT exams, which was one of the highest in her school. Even after all these achievements, Maxine was considered to be an outcast, a freak, someone who was probably a teacher's pet, but this was not all at the case. Maxine was a lovely and sweet girl who loved to interact with people, but due to her false reputation among everyone in Harvard, nobody even came close to talking to her or being friends with her. This caused her to become extremely sad and even caused her minor depression. Even though Maxine was a highly intelligent individual, she had other hobbies too, with her favorite being musical theater. She loved all types of music, but there was one she was almost obsessed with, and that was the play called Wicked, but none of these seemed to help her in her making friends. In the recent months of her life, something had been up with her as she had suddenly started to show superhuman abilities. The first incident was when Maxine was in her grandmother's garage when she felt an itch in her nose, which caused her to sneeze. But what she did not expect was that the sneeze was so powerful that it completely broke down the garage, which left her scared and confused. Not only this, but the very next day, while Maxine was sleeping, she realized she was in a dream and she tried waking up, but when she did, she realized she was in the middle of a huge tornado 500 feet off the ground. This raised a lot of questions in her head head, and she soon came to a realization that she had gained superpowers, which enabled her to control and manipulate winds however she liked. A few months later, the Justice Society of America decided to increase its reach and spread out its ranks, so it needed new members who would be beneficial for the team, and just as everyone had thought, Maxine's name was on the list for the possible recruitments. She was invited to the team by Power Girl and Mr. Terrific, both of whom Maxine admired dearly. When she finally got to meet them, she got so excited that her invitation was almost rebuked, but she controlled herself and joined the society. But this problem of fangirling was nowhere near over. Soon, when she was introduced to the rest of the Justice Society of America, she burst out in excitement over meeting her all-time favorite superheroes, especially when she met her fellow team member, Stargirl. Stargirl had not expected such a reaction from a fellow super being, but she still maintained her composure. In order to relieve her of the pain of Mr. America's death, Stargirl took Maxine to a room full of different types of articles of clothing, fabrics, and costumes, and asked her to choose a new costume for herself. After Maxine was completely a new member of the JSA, in her newbie phase, she gained the title of Cyclone. Soon she helped the JSA in defeating the Fourth Reich, assisted the Justice Society of America in the Lightning Saga, and even stood up to the Heartbreak Slayer when he had attacked the Justice Society of America headquarters. During all of this, she had also made new allies, such as the android Red Tornado, and she even felt attracted to a superhero known as Damage, which made her stop speaking all the time, and she started focusing more on what she was saying. Cyclone in Final Crisis. During the original Final Crisis saga, Cyclone was one of the hundreds of superheroes who were recruited by Alan Scott in order to take on the infamous villain Darkseid. Can you imagine? Even though she was heavily underrated at the time, she still managed to go up against one of the greatest villains the DC Universe had ever produced. Cyclone has also traveled in time, along with her recruiter Power Girl and Wildcat, in order to defeat her enemy Icicle. Soon, when the Justice Society of America was divided in two, she decided to join the team, which was being led by Magog. The team was known as JSA All-Stars, and soon she developed a big crush on King Chimera. Later on, Stargirl and Atom Smasher, two close friends and fellow superheroes of Cyclone, were kidnapped by Johnny Sorrow and were brought to the Subtle Realm. Cyclone, along with Roxy and Anna Fortune, decided to make a machine which could bring her friends back, but due to some complications, the machine didn't do as it was intended to. It malfunctioned, and instead of bringing her friends back, it teleported the whole team to Johnny Sorrow's dimension, and it freed the King of Tears. Soon the team had no other choice than to engage in battle. During this fight, Stargirl killed the King of Tears, thus securing the victory for her team. How Maxine became a member of the Justice Society of America, DC Extended Universe. After Maxine had successfully managed to stop the attacks from the criminals, she was soon surrounded by angry and disappointed people who were regretful of their action of calling her to help. Thinking that she must have hurt them terribly, she ran into an alley where she was seen by Hawkman. Maxine was alerted of his presence by her powers, and when Hawkman noticed this, he descended to the ground as calmly as he could and confronted Maxine. This made Maxine extremely nervous, as she could not believe that one of her childhood idols had actually come to meet her. Maxine said Hawkman's name twice, prompting Hawkman to remark that he recognized her from seeing her online, and later mentioned how impressive Hunkle's powers were. Maxine was flattered and nervous as she responded, "It's no big deal," to which Hawkman responded, "They are definitely impressive." Hawkman then asked Maxine if she knew anything about the tar that the adversary Maxine was battling had swallowed. This confused Maxine a bit, as she had no idea what Hawkman was talking about. Upon seeing her reaction, Hawkman understood the situation and decided to explain explain it to her. Apparently the person she had fought earlier had consumed a special tar which gave anyone superhuman powers for a very limited time, but the side effects made the people go furious, causing everyone's lives to be in danger. He even told her that he found Maxine really interesting and told her that he was making a new team known as the Justice Society, and he wanted her to be a part of it. Maxine did not expect this at all. She was at a loss for words and did not know how to reciprocate to what he'd said, and she nervously ended up rejecting his offer. She ran and instantly regretted her decision, but she couldn't look back after what she had said. This left Hawkman very confused, and he just stared at her in confusion. In a subsequent encounter, Maxine faced another drug user and managed to win the battle. However, a thug threatened Maxine with a weapon which could kill her, so Hawkman threw his mace, gravely wounding the man and causing his pistol to fall to the ground. Hawkman soon came to Maxine and introduced himself to her again while calling her Cyclone. This caused Maxine to be very happy, and she happily accepted to become part of the Justice Society of America. Cyclone in Black Adam movie. In the movie Black Adam, the role of Cyclone has been played by actress Quintessa Swindell, who states that the character has still stayed true to its comic storyline. Swindell had mentioned in an interview that Cyclone was still very much capable of controlling all types of winds and using them to her powers, but to make the character even stronger, she now had the power to manipulate the nanobots, which was a great addition to the character. The character was still a part of the JSA, and originally they were recruited to stop Adam from destroying the city of Kahndaq and Intergang's troops. The JSA went up against Adam, and they soon realized that they were actually fighting against the person who was wronged by others. Ishmael revealed himself to be the Intergang commander in Kahndaq and pursued Amon, Adriana's teenage son who had taken the crown. The Justice Society, Adriana, and Adam intended to exchange the crown for Amon. When they came to Ishmael, he revealed that he was the final descendant of King Akton. In order to claim the throne as his own, he wanted the crown, which Adriana gladly provided in order to save Amon's life. But as everyone would have expected, Ishmael did not keep up his part of the deal and shot Amon. While he was trying to protect the kid, Adam lost control of his powers and destroyed the hideout, which killed Ishmael and caused Amon to be gravely injured. Adam, filled with regret, flew to Arktong's palace ruins, where he informed Hawkman that the legends surrounding Kahndaq's champions were incomplete. He explained the whole situation to Hawkman and told him how he truly received his powers. The JSA, along with Cyclone, took him in custody as Adam surrendered, but soon he was left out when JSA was almost to be killed by Sabak. He instantly flew to the place and stopped Sabak from hurting them any further and ended up killing him. Due to this, Cyclone and the others became good friends with Adam and left the place while Adam was declared the protector of Kahndaq, and that is when he was given the name Black Adam. What makes her so powerful? Up until now, we've seen that Cyclone is a meta-human who has these special powers to control winds. But come on guys, that's not near the end of her power. In fact, she's way stronger than you may have thought. Let us look into what makes her so powerful. Maxine has a special ability known as Aero-Kenitic. For those of you who do not know what that is, it's the ability to control the air with the mind itself. Cyclone can not only control winds with her mind, but she can also create tornadoes just by thinking about them. She can use this power to generate other abilities, such as deflecting any incoming projectiles without much problem. She can also use her powers to levitate and even fly wherever she chooses to. And though she's not as fast as Superman, she's definitely fast enough to keep up with him when she is wounded. She can also use these powers to create powerful air blasts which hit the entity directly, dealing massive damage to the individual. And if Cyclone can master her powers fully, she can actually be a potential threat to anyone and everyone around her, as she only seems to have one weakness up until now, and that is a place with a vacuum inside it. But it's not clearly stated that it might actually affect her, so who knows how strong she truly is capable of being. Conclusion. Cyclone is truly a very underrated character who, even after a few clear appearances, still doesn't seem to make it into the spotlight. All of her appearances have clearly stated that she has way too much potential, which has not yet been shown in any comic or live-action adaptation, so we surely do wish that Maxine will soon discover the true limits to her powers, and if that happens, she will surely be unstoppable. If you liked our video, please leave a like and do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Tell us who else you would like us to explore as well. Till then, ciao and take care.